Good morning, fourth graders. Welcome to a episode of How Many Tabs Are Open on Mr. Johnson's Computer. Let's count them together. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Way too many tabs. All right. As your teachers are still out, I decided I'm going to come back and see if I can help you with the second week worth of videos. If you watched last week's videos, cool, thank you. If you did not, don't worry about it. You got this week. Okay, so we have a 3-page assignment. I looked at it. First page is actually just notes, so that's cool. We're gonna review some things. First off, your right angle. Your right angle, once again, it's kind of like the corner of a page. Basically, you can just throw your corner of a page in something and that's a right angle. All right, it's a 90-degree angle. It's your 90-degree angle. It makes, like, this little square is always a hint that it's a 90-degree angle. You'll see that square when they're talking about a right angle. All right, and so a right angle, basically you have two lines that are intersecting perpendicularly at a 90-degree angle, and what you get is that 90-degree angle. A straight angle is the whole thing. All right, it's just all the way open. It's 180 degrees. Okay, so the straight angle, it's not acute angle, it's not a right angle, and it's not an obtuse angle. All right, remember, acute angle, acute, it's smaller than 90 degrees. So this is a 90-degree angle. If it is smaller than the corner of a page, it is an acute angle. And then finally, obtuse angle. Obtuse angle. It's bigger than 90 degrees. All right. It looks like a chair that a giant sat in, and it kind of is barely holding together. All right. And so it's a giant angle. Just think giants, right? It's your Hagrid angle, your obtuse angle. All right. So now let's take a look and use this information about right angles, straight angles, acute angles, and obtuse angles to help us solve page 2. So we are given a bunch of pictures of angles, and then we are going to put them in the right place. So I'm going to go ahead and label these. Acute, I'm going to say less than 90 degrees. Right, I'm just going to say, and you don't have to do this, but this is a good way to give your brain those reminders. A right angle is 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is larger, or let's say greater than 90 degrees. And then our straight angle is our 180 degree flat. Flat 180 degrees. All right, so let's see where we can put these. So it looks like my big head is in the way, first of all, so we're gonna scoot it over to the side. It looks like we have, let's get rid of the straight ones. The straight ones should be the easiest ones to find. I see 2 straight angles to start with, all right, which would mean just the straight lines. You do not see them bending anywhere. They are going on forever. The first one's going on forever from left to right. The second one's going on forever from like up and down. Like those literally just loop around the whole world. So your Chromebook right now is the center, and it's looping all the way around the whole world. So those arrows mean those lines go on forever. All right, next up, let's look for the right angles. So the right angles are the ones that are going to look like the L's, or the upside down L, or the backwards upside down L. One thing about this, it does not look like they drew us that little square in the corner on any of our right angles, so we can't look for that cheat right now, but sometimes if you see that little square in the corner, that's a cheat that shows you it's a right angle. So on these, we're just gonna have to decide. And if you want to take like a small piece of paper and just put it in the corner of these angles, you can't see me doing that, but like if you just take the corner of your paper, if it fits perfectly, and it has to be like the corner of a paper that's not ripped or anything. But if you take a piece, like a corner of a piece of paper, and you squeeze it in, it should fit perfectly into a 90-degree angle. All right, so let's look at all the ones that a piece of paper would fit perfectly in the corner. There's one. All right, here's another one. Oop, here's another one. Is that it? Does anyone else see any 90-degree angles left? I don't either. I think all we're left was acute angles and obtuse angles. All right. So remember, acute angle, it's smaller than 90 degrees. All right. Smaller than 90 degrees. And then an obtuse angle. I can't even make it with these two fingers. All right. An obtuse angle is that one that looks like the chair that's been broken by the giant. All right. So if we find an angle that is larger than 90 degrees, we're going to put it in the obtuse section. And then also, I just saw another straight one. Did anyone else see another straight one? You're like been screaming at your screen, Mr. Johnson, you missed a straight one. Yeah, even though that's diagonal, there's still no bend in our line, right? So that's a straight, flat, 180-degree angle. Mr. Johnson missed one, but that's okay because we found it now. Now we're all good. All right. So basically, we are looking for which ones. Oh, Mr. Johnson can't read either. What does this say? Acute. You're right. We need to move all these to the right. As you can see, it's 6:18 a.m. Mr. Johnson is waking up. It's a Monday. So if you have been doing this and you've been like, Mr. Johnson, you're making an awful lot of mistakes, you are correct. Luckily, we found them, and that's a beautiful thing about checking your work. Looking carefully, we found them. All right, so these are right angles. We knew that because they're 90 degrees. And we're trying to find the home for the acute angles and the obtuse angles. So you just have to slightly forgive Mr. Johnson. He's forgetting things, especially like little details. All right, so we have one, two, three right angles in here. We see that because they're the corner of a page. Our right angle is 90 degrees. It looks like your L or your upside down L or your sideways or whichever way you want to go. All right. And then let's find the ones that are acute. So smaller than 90 degrees. So they should be anywhere smaller than 90 degrees. All right. So I see this one. Looks like it's bent forward. If you think that that one as well, as you can see, both of those, if you tried to squeeze the corner of a piece of paper into those, you would be covering up one of the lines. So those are smaller than 90 degrees. Those are acute angles. All right. There's another acute right here. I think we have one more acute angle. There we go. So as you can see also, all of these angles, they face all sorts of directions, right? The right angles don't have to just be facing right. This one's facing right, but this one's facing kind of right, but this one, the arrow's going left. These are all right angles, even if they are not facing right. Okay, right angle just means the 90 degrees. All right. Once again, let's double check all these. All of these are smaller than 90 degrees. They're bent forward. They're acute angles, so they are smaller than 90 degrees. So we got smaller than 90 degrees, smaller than 90 degrees, smaller than 90 degrees, smaller than 90 degrees. We have our 90-degree triangles. I mean, angles, sorry. In fifth grade, we talk about triangles a lot. And then we have our straight lines, which are flat, 180 degrees. And that leaves us with our obtuse angles. This one looks like a broken chair that a giant sat in. That one looks like a pool chair. But still, like, as you can see, larger than 90 degrees, right? Bigger than those L's. And then here is another one that, even though it's facing the opposite direction, it's still larger than 90 degrees. If we try to put the corner of our piece of paper into that corner, we are going to see one line does not line up at all. All right. So um, once again, let's say that you're just trying to get a 90-degree angle. Once again, like all you have to do is you put the corner of a piece of paper in there, and if it lines up perfectly, it's 90 degrees. If it was obtuse, it wouldn't line up perfectly, right? And then if it was acute, you wouldn't even see one of the lines. So right angle, it lines up perfectly. And then if it's acute, you're going to be missing a line. And then if it's obtuse, you're going to see one line sticking way out. All right. So the corner of your page makes a 90-degree angle. And you can always use that on a test. Well, when you take tests on paper. Anyway, let's look at our last page. All right. So study the figures below. Decide which best describes each figure and circle your answer. Okay. So our vocabulary words are line, line segment, ray, and angle. So we have to decide whether each one of these is a line segment, a ray, or an angle? Let's see if they gave us 4 circles. Okay, they did give us 4 circles. Cool. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is let's review these things. All right. So a line has an arrow on both sides and goes on forever. Remember, the line goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, forever. All right, in both directions. So a line has an arrow on both sides and moves on forever in both directions. Do you see one of these that has an arrow on both sides of the line, suggesting that it goes on forever and ever and ever? Boop. Oops, pressed the wrong button. There we go. Yeah. So this is our line. Our line goes on forever and ever. It has arrows on both sides. Oh, wait, this way. Doo, doo, doo. No, that's, I don't know, one of these ways. So goes on forever and ever, has an arrow on both sides. So now, if we're looking for a line segment, that's going to be when we cover up the, like, we take these arrow parts off that go on forever and just say, like, oh, it's only this part from M to N. That's the segment, just this part of the line, not the arrows that go on forever, but just this part. So when looking at a line segment, B to A right here is a line segment. There's no arrow, so it does not go on forever. Our line starts at B and ends here at A. Or you could say it starts at A and ends at B, but it has a starting point and an ending point. The dots represent that it's ending. All right, the arrow means it goes on forever, the dot means it's ending. So we have two left. We have a ray and we have an angle. Since we're kind of using angles on that whole activity over here, which one of the pictures looks kind of like these guys over here? Yeah, this one, PQR or RQP, right? This is an angle because it has the bend. All right, this is an acute angle because it's smaller than 90 degrees. So this is our angle. That leaves us with one, which is a ray. So just think about, like, kind of when you draw like a sun, or when you used to draw a sun on, your drawings when you were like little, you drew the circle and then you draw the lines coming off the circle. So a ray is kind of like that. It's that line coming off of the circle, all right? One is going to go on infinitely. The arrow side goes on infinitely, but we definitely have an ending point here. So we start at E and then we go on forever. Yes, there is the point F, but we're not stopping at F. That arrow means it goes on forever. So this is a line. I mean, a ray, just like the sun's rays. When you draw a picture of the sun as a little kid and you draw one line coming out of the sun, it's the same idea. It's like the line coming out, all right? And then one part goes on forever, but it starts somewhere. So this starts at E and goes on forever. So that is a ray. So a line segment, it has a start and an ending point. An angle has the bend. A line goes on forever with the arrows in both directions, and a ray goes on forever in one direction with the arrow, but has a definite starting point. All right, so I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, just get with your teachers, see if they can help you, and I hope that you're having success with all this geometry stuff. I think it's a lot of fun. Well, I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you later. Bye.